Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th Canto, Chapter 14 and text number 38. Evam Rishanta Rishayo Dhavatam Sarvato Disham Pamsuhu Sammutito Burish Choranam Abilum Patam. Translation purport by Srila Prabhupada. Jai. The great sages were carrying on their discussion in this way. They saw a dust storm arising from all directions. This storm was caused by the running of the thieves and rogues who were engaged in plundering the citizens. Purport. Thieves and rogues simply await some political upset in order to take the opportunity to plunder the people in general. To keep thieves and rogues inactive in their profession, a strong government is always required. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. So the scenario is continuing, where after death of King Vena, who was a blasphemer of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the country had no king. And in the last verse we saw that when there is no strong king, then the rule of the jungle prevails. Might is right. And clever and mighty thieves and robbers, they loot the innocent people, resulting a situation where the citizens do not have any protection, and resulting in lack of peace in the country, lack of security for people, lack of justice for the people. Without all these things, it is very difficult for leading a progressive human life. Progressive human life means to engage in homa, yajna, thapa as a human being in order to elevate his soul to higher consciousness. So it is very essential to have a peaceful atmosphere to execute devotional service. Of course, devotees are ready to execute devotion service for Guru and Krishna unconditionally, in spite of disturbing situations from the environment. For a devotee, it is not a precondition, but generally for neophytes, it is extremely important that there is a peaceful situation in life to execute devotional service. So therefore, it is very important that the Varna Ashrama system works, wherein the Kshatriya creates a peaceful situation for the human being to make his progress for the purpose for which he is born in a human body. So Varnashrama system is human sociological system. Animals don't have this Varnashrama system. The animals have their own law of might is right. Whereas in the human society, physically, in a sense, in terms of ability to even to take disturbance is very less for the all classes, Brahmanas, Vaishyas, Shudras, they all depend upon the Kshatriya to protect their own environment in a way in which Brahmana can do his service, Kshatriya, Vaishya can do his service, Shudra can do his service. So society is peacefully run. So power, here it is said that a strong government is always required. The government has the power over the people to administer them and to ensure that they don't break the laws of the country or the state, all these things. So we also, once we are born as a human being, irrespective of what one's lineage of birth is concerned. In Kali Yuga, at least, everybody is born a Shudra, irrespective of what his genealogical lineage may be. Everybody is born a Shudra, and only by training, by samskara, one develops the quality of either a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, etc. And in Kali Yuga, in normal situation itself, when you are born in a Brahmana family, you have a favorable Brahminical environment. If you're born as a Kshatriya, you are of Kshatriya family, so there is a conducive family environment is there. And even in that family environment, in Kali Yuga, to remain with those samskaras is so difficult. So what to speak of when everybody is born as a Shudra, and there is no environment that is conducive to any of the Brahmana, Kshatriya or Vaishya culture. So human society is almost like a animal society, little polished way of eating, sleeping, mating and defending. If there are laws just take care of this much, that there is fairness in eating, sleeping, mating and defending. The goal of the life is only that. Modern governments, what do they ensure? Eating, sleeping, mating and defending. So there are laws everywhere. But modern civilization is totally unaware. The big ecosystem of creation. What is the purpose of this creation? Why a living entity is born as an animal? Why a living entity is born as a human being? What is the purpose of life? You just discover that you got a body and you are growing, that's all. That's all. And human being thinks he is very intelligent. He can understand everything by speculation. But he cannot even understand his own body. He cannot even understand why he got this type of body, why somebody else got another type of body. He cannot understand why I have certain powers and others don't have that power. Somebody is rich, somebody is poor. So in this material world, power, or money is power, they say, or power is what everybody is chasing after. Just like in the spiritual world, everybody is chasing after pleasing Krishna, loving Krishna. Here everybody is chasing after power. So this is a power-centered world, material world. It is an open field for living entities to lord over as per the laws of karma, totally forgetting Krishna. You don't have to remember Krishna here. You'll still be very wealthy, you'll still be very powerful. Because Lord has created this material world to give power to the living entities, to fulfill their desires. Do it. You earn for it by tapasya. You earn for it. Enjoy it. Laws of action and reaction. But however, even within such godless civilization, the Lord is the one who is the Param Ishvara. Ishvara means holder of power. So at the bottommost level, at the source level, just like you see there's power in the electrical point here, but the source is something else, somewhere else. This is an immediate source, plug point. Similarly, each of the living entities are having power. Intellectual power, money power, influential power. Emotional power, different kinds of power the living entities wields. This is given to each living entity from the Lord in the heart, who is the ultimate source of all power. Of course, devotees don't chase after power. Power is required to live. Devotees surrender to Krishna, and Krishna gives whatever power is required for one's executing one's devotion service, because devotee's goal is to go back to Godhead by executing devotion service. Whatever power is required, he will provide. Name bhakta pranashyati. My devotees never perish. And yogakshemam vahamyam. I provide what the devotees want. So in a sense, as you grow up, as you become adult in this material world, normally, you cannot survive without power. Why people go and work? Power to exist. They need a house, they need money, they need this, food. So all the adults in this material world, when you're a child, you are under the care of the parents. As you become adult, a sense of, pressure for surviving is upon almost everyone. This is not very natural for the living entities. Therefore, he is very stressed. You see, today all the working population, they're all so stressed. A devotee is not stressed. He's happy with what comes of its own accord because the Lord is taking care of him, his power requirement. So hardly devotees think of power at all. They're always thinking of the service of the Lord. Even for the service of the Lord, when you need resources, that's also power. According to the intensity of your desire to want to do for Krishna, He can provide all the power that is required to execute any devotional service. The devotee only thinks of serving the Lord in this way, that way, glorifying the Lord in this way, that way, in every possible way, how to glorify the Supreme Lord in this material world so that innocent living entities can hear about Him and come to Krishna consciousness and save himself from repeated birth and death. So we as preachers, yes, we look forward to glorify the Lord. We don't directly look for, okay, I want money, this thing, that thing, all that. Directly, it's not. But when you want to glorify the Lord, let's say you want to build a big temple, you know this much money is required. You only meditate on begging the Lord, please allow me to do this service. So automatically, the resources are taken care of. If you directly think of resources, then you will be always thinking of, okay, even though it's in connection with Krishna, you'll always be thinking of money to build this temple, money to build the temple. So the focus will be on money to build the temple. Some kind of contamination will come. Whereas one's focus should be to build the temple. The opportunity to serve the Lord. Please give me that opportunity. So, a devotee's connection with power, even to preach Krishna consciousness, is connected to thrill of seeing the glories of the Lord being spread everywhere. Normally in this material world, glories of the Lord is not evident because Lord is hidden. Though He is all-pervading, though He is the foundation of everything, though He is the pushing force in every living entity, He is the very foundation of life in every body, yet He is hidden. He needs somebody to, in this material world, to take Bhagavad Gita and speak what Krishna spoke. Then the living entity understands his eternal connection with this Supreme Lord. Everywhere, everything is connected to the Supreme Lord. Material, non-material, conscious living entities, matter, does not matter. Everything is connected to the Lord, directly and indirectly. And this Lord is all merciful, all loving, Suhurdam Sarvabhutanam, friend of all living entities. that how to proclaim this to the world. Everybody is lost in this world. Who is my eternal relative? What is my protection? What is my security? People think money is security. These are all secondary things. The real security is my Supreme Father in my heart. He alone is providing me everything. Why should I worry? This world is full of miseries. How to come out of these miseries? This is preaching Krishna consciousness. Birth, death, old age, disease. Stop suffering. Go back to the lotus feet of Krishna. Life of Satchit Ananda. He is available for every one of us, especially in this Kali Yuga, simply by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Otherwise, to get out of this material covering is not easy at all. The consciousness, Krishna consciousness doesn't come at all. Consciousness is completely covered. Maya continuously bewildering the living entities this way, that way, keeps you forgetful of Krishna. One after the other. It's not possible to come out at all. Varieties. Varieties of false forms, names, rasas. Avarnatmika Shakti and Prakshet, what is that? Prakshetnatmika Shakti. Avarnatmika means first cover that. You have no connection with, the truth is covered. That is, what is the truth? I am Krishna's. Cover it. And then bewilder you with so many ahankaras. I am this, I am that, I am independent. Very difficult to come out of it. But by this Sankirtana, chanting of the holy names of the Lord, it is possible for us. It's a very big miracle. Just because the Lord is very merciful and this is the Yuga Dharma and Kalikale Namarupa Krishna Avatara is freely available, and just by chanting we are having very good consciousness life. Krishna consciousness life. It is not cheap. It's not available in other yugas. To come to the same consciousness, not possible. To come to realize that I am suffering itself is difficult to realize. It's okay, everything is nice, he will think. Maya keeps you like that. Surrender. The first aspect of surrender is with respect to power. If you don't surrender your independence to God, what is independence? One's free will to do what he wants. So-called freedom. You can access freedom is not anything great. Freedom can destroy you also. Freedom can give you bliss also. So, right use of freedom, free will. Free will is a power of the living entity, intrinsic power of the living entity. Sat, That is why this entire material world exists, because the Lord has given that freedom. Freedom means that power. Power to seek a life independence. A life of independent power, knowledge, love, sense pleasures. So Lord is seated in the heart. Therefore, he says, Sarva dharman parityaja mam ekam sharanam vraja. Devotion service begins when he surrenders to the Supreme Lord. He subordinates his will to the will of the Supreme Lord. The material world, nobody is subordinating their will to anybody. Everybody is independent. Forceful subordination is there in this material world, but that is not surrender. Willfully subordinating, lovingly subordinating, voluntarily subordinating. That is dasatva. That's what we learn in devotion service. In practical devotion service, we learn how to surrender to the will of the Lord. We practice devotion service to counter the temptations of Maya, who breaks our will. What is our Maya? What is Maya's job? Break our will. Because we are devotees. We have decided, we have willed that I want to be a devotee, I want to go back to Godhead. To break your willpower is Maya's job. So a devotee is said to be strong when his willpower to stay in Krishna consciousness, his willpower to follow the directions of Guru and Krishna determines the strength of the devotee. What is his consistency? So a devotee, a strong devotee's will to be subordinate to Krishna cannot be broken. So it is very important also in a devotee's life to be determined, adamant, stubborn with Maya. And sometimes we are stubborn when some instruction is given. No, you should be stubborn the other way. You should be stubborn not to listen to Maya. Sometimes devotees preach. Hey, your Maya, come out. He is very stubborn, nothing to do. That stubbornness should be engaged in pleasing Krishna. It's a very good quality to be very stubborn. But for the right thing. Quickly you can make advancement. You have to be strong. We have a destination. We have a goal to become pure devotees. Become free from Maya. We have a goal. So we should be aiming towards that goal. Just like karmis are so ambitious. They say, okay, I want to do this, I want to achieve this, I want to do this. Same thing. If we engage our free will to be more and more determined, no, this pace of my advancement is not enough for me, I am not happy. I have to make faster progress. I have to take more tapasya. Like this, our advancement, though everything depends on the mercy of the Lord, you should understand a large extent that mercy comes to one who is wanting something. That is what each person is different. Materially also, why each person is different. You are the result of all your past decisions. Krishna is totally neutral. Totally neutral. You want to become a debauchee? Yes, become. All facilities. You want to become a pure devotee? I'm there. I'm just waiting for your desire. I'm just waiting for your determination. God helps those who help themselves. Immediately, spiritual power one gets. To make advancement in spiritual life, we need spiritual power. Spiritual power is the power of the free will. Sat power. Sat, Chitta, Ananda. You chant nicely, Sat power will flow into your heart. Your willpower will become strong. Your willpower to execute devotion service, your willpower to execute four regulative principles, all will increase simply by chanting attentively and hearing distinctly. Because by these two things, you are touching Krishna, who is a supreme, infinite Sat, Chitta and Ananda. Shortcut. Shortcut to personal transformation. By direct association, falling into the fire and becoming red hot. Any questions? Very few devotees, some tour they have gone or what? Pilgrimage.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. As you said, Prabhu, the Maya's attack on the devotees is mainly on his willpower to execute devotional service. Now, in devotional service, we are having many varieties of the things to do. Mainly two things like sadhana and service, broadly speaking. So, sometimes it happens in the life of a devotee that he has a very strong willpower for certain things, like say to execute devotionals, to do services. But he doesn't have that much strong willpower to execute a daily sadhana, where that is a weak. So how he should make that part also as a strong, like he has a very strong willpower, I will never leave the temple, what may happen, I will serve here. But in regard to this sadhana things, he is...
So willpower to do service and willpower, same willpower to do sadhana, or willpower to succeed in service, same kind of willpower to succeed in sadhana is not there. That is because for a sadhaka, His willpower to do service is easy to maintain because there is a certain guna and karma in him which he was anyway, that passion had to burn. Fruitive mentality has to burn. Automatically, everybody, there are only two things: motivation for fruitive activity, motivation for devotion service. We cannot keep quiet. We have to always act. Either it is fruitive activity or devotion service. Rasa for fruitive activity, rasa for devotion service. So, this dovetailing devotional service, where he gets support from his karmic background to passionately go, there is a support of his karma behind it. So, he will have a lot of determination for that. His willpower will be, you will see there, because in a way, because of his fruitive mentality, it is getting burnt out. So that is you can say like a commission. So there is commission. In sadhana, it is directly serving the Lord. You are yet to awaken your sense of value. In fruitive activities, what do you see? You see value, you succeed in something. But here you're yet to create one Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. One more in my life, one more bead I do. That sense of high value for that activity, high value for that, it has to awaken. Unless we appreciate and understand Krishna's value, association of Krishna, the determination to succeed, will not come. It will be just ritualistic chanting, ritualistic sadhana. No harm. Still you are touching Krishna. So one day, gradually, little by little, the value for sadhana to your own self, what it does to you, is something that as you progress, one side you are doing dovetailing devotion service, and this side you are doing direct. See, you take sadhana. What is sadhana? Everywhere it's a direct touch of Krishna. There you are doing work and offering it to Krishna. One is direct touch of Krishna. I used to earlier coin this term, Vyavaharik devotion service and Paramarthik devotion service. Vyavaharik not in the normal Vyavaharik sense, not material. Devotion service is never material. Both are Paramarthik. One is Paramarthik, one is Paramarthik Vyavaharik. So Paramarthik Vyavaharik is little easy because of our push for fruitive activities. Paramarthik push for devotional rasa is not there. It has to come. So willpower will be less there. But it will gradually come. Nandaraja Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai.